President Trump has a plan to eliminate income taxes entirely, and his plan has already been put in place. However, there are some issues, and I want you to know what is going on because right now, millions and millions of Americans are not prepared to see the end of income taxes here in the United States. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But first, what you need to understand is that right now, when you turn on mainstream media, when you turn on anything, everybody's saying the sky is falling. The stock market is selling off. The global markets could potentially dip into a recession and everybody could be screwed. Well, I'm going to explain what's going on with all of that in just a moment. But first, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So how much more money would you have if President Trump was successful in eliminating income taxes? Well, you would have a little bit more. But here's the thing that you need to keep in mind. Even though President Trump wants to eliminate income taxes, there are some other things that are holding him back. But look at this. It says here is how much extra you take home if you make $150,000 a year. Let's address this because I know a lot of people are wondering, how much money would I even save? Well, look at this. It says right here, the effective tax rate on $150,000. It says according to Tax Act tax bracket calculator, a single person would have an effective tax rate of 16.83% on a $150,000 salary. Okay. Says so someone who earns $150,000 per year would pay $25,500 in federal income taxes. That's how much money you would save if Trump eliminated income taxes. That's a decent amount of money. So if you make $150,000, how much would an additional $25,500 be for you and your family? Okay? This would probably be huge. It could probably pay for a car. $25,000 in many cases, that's over $2,000 per month, which means you could take $2,000 per month and put it towards a house. You could pay off debt. You could do so many other things. Now, let's get to this because again, even though President Trump wants to eliminate income taxes, there is a little bit of a problem, and that is tariffs. This is what most Americans were not prepared for. And I bring this up for multiple reasons. First off, here's what you need to know. In order to replace income taxes, we have to have some other source of income that comes into the United States. And so instead of, pretty much charging us internally, which is what the IRS does, the Internal Revenue Service, President Trump wants the External Revenue Service, where he's charging other countries. That's essentially what tariffs are going to do, but it's going to be a bumpy road. Listen to this. One person says the sky is falling. Americans are asking for help because the stock market is selling off. Prices are projected to rise due to tariffs, and there are still millions of Americans without a job. But the tariffs are going to take some time. They say this is a process that we cannot rush. According to reports, some Republicans as well believe President Trump is rushing this, that tariffs are a good idea. Move away from taxes, go to tariffs. The problem is we are imposing a 34% tariff on China, or, which was reported today, Trump schedules a tariff talk, but plans a 104% hit on China. The issue that we are about to face is that China is, again, even though they're a competitor, we purchase so much inventory from China. Okay? China is a major trade partner. Yes, we are at a trade deficit with China, but that doesn't matter. What we need to do, according to multiple experts, we need to impose tariffs, but slowly. Start at 10%. Again, China was already there. Why couldn't we just raise everybody else to 10% and then push China up to 20%? If we would have done that, according to reports, we probably would have been fine. Some of these countries would negotiate, and we could essentially bring it down, make it easier on the American people. Here's what they're saying. Tariffs will replace taxes, but too many countries are pushing back. And as too many countries push back, it pushes Trump to make some, pretty much negotiate. Okay? He's going to have to make some hard decisions after these negotiations. It says, and the American people are starting to question whether or not this is even going to work. Here's the problem. President Trump pretty much has 2 years, essentially a year and a half. And I say this because the Republican Party needs to prove that tariffs are going to work. Okay? Not just go and replace income taxes with tariffs. They need to prove that this is going to work and that their plan that they're putting into place right now does improve the American people's lives. Because this is what they're saying. If this tariff plan doesn't work, then the American people need to be prepared to see Democrats win the majority back in the House and the Senate in the upcoming midterm elections. That's what they're saying. I want to show you something. It says Republican senator asks, who is to blame if tariffs don't pan out? Many people are asking this exact same thing. I want to read this to you. This is from Senator Tom Tillis. It says, whose throat do I get to choke if this turns out to be wrong? It says, and he's this is Tillis talking about President Trump. He says, I wish you well, but I'm skeptical. Many people are skeptical at this time because what President Trump's plans were to get rid of income taxes, replace it with tariffs. Again, it could work, but as of right now, too many people have issues with it. Stock market selling off. People that were using the money from their 401k to live, guess what? They are hurting. People that were looking for work right now, when the stocks are selling off, when we don't know what's going on with tariffs, businesses aren't hiring. They're just not. We have millions of people currently without a job here in the United States. Millions. The number isn't coming down, it's only going up. It's getting bigger. That's a concern. Unemployment is going up. It's rising. That's a huge concern. We are seeing the average hourly earnings for many people are going down. It's not going up, it's going down. As prices go up, our wages are going down. That's a huge problem. That's a major red flag. And so again, I bring this up because right now, everybody is concerned. And you turn on the news, you see stories like this, where the U.S. stocks give up an early gain as clock ticks down to Trump's new tariffs. Everybody's concerned about what is going on. Are prices going to increase? Because everybody wanted to get Democrats out in the last election, put Republicans in because Republicans said we would bring down prices. It's not happening right now. The short-term pain will equal long-term gain, but we have to keep Republicans in office in order to do that. And this is where some say we could go pretty much 2 years, all the way until November of 2026, and feel all this pain just to see Democrats come in, because Republicans and voters are going to be upset with what Republicans have done, that they're going to change things. They're going to vote in Democrats into the House and the Senate. And when they do, that's going to make President Trump's job even more difficult, which means all the pain we go through may get switched. And now we see pain for 2 years and then an additional pain for 2 years. So again, pain for 4 years. That's a huge problem. So I'm just here to tell you that you need to prepare for this, because right now millions and millions of Americans have yet to prepare for what is coming. We are going to see prices go up temporarily. But again, whether that's 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, we don't know yet. But the plan is simple. This is a multi-phase plan according to multiple experts. They say that President Trump's plan is pretty simple: to impose tariffs on other nations. And again, as long as there's no pushback, but the ideal plan looks like this: impose tariffs on other nations, pass the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act extension, eliminate income taxes for people making less than $150,000 per year. We are going to eliminate taxes entirely for overtime income, for tips, and for Social Security benefits. But again, all of that can't happen unless we are bringing up the revenue from tariffs. So we'll see what happens. All I can tell you right now is yes, it has been confirmed by multiple sources that President Trump wants to ultimately end income taxes on a federal level. States are already considering this. Multiple states are putting in proposals and passing bills to end income tax for their residents within the state. But some are slowly rolling this out where by 2030, the whole plan will be in place. But again, it's going to take years. That's what some experts believe President Trump should be doing. Letting this tariff replacement take years. So maybe by 2030, that's the end goal. But trying to do it all within the first few months of his presidency or his second term, some say that could be the downfall. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.